The clock of judicial justice in the Republic of Korea must never stop. Good day. I am Professor Nam Yong Lee, and I also serve as chairman of the Bukak Forum, a fellowship of more than 2,000 Ph.D. level policy experts devoted to guiding and enlightening the grassroots citizens of the Republic of Korea in order to advance a sound liberal democracy and a sustainable free market economy. My fellow citizens, the clock of judicial justice must never stop. Today, I wish to speak about why the retrial of President Lee's case, remanded by the Supreme Court, has been so severely delayed, and why the prompt resumption of this trial is now essential for the integrity of our nation's rule of law. On May 2, 2025, the Supreme Court of Korea ruled to remand the case of President Lee to the Seoul High Court's Criminal Division 7 with a finding of guilt under the Public Official Election Act. The first trial date was originally set for May 15th, then postponed to June 18th due to the presidential election schedule. Yet more than 5 months have passed without the trial's commencement. The people are waiting. Justice may be delayed, but it must never be denied, and it must never stand still. Law stands above power, and justice stands above time. The credibility of Korea's judiciary depends on its political neutrality and procedural transparency. However, the prolonged delay in this retrial now compels the public to question the independence of the courts. Nearly half a year has passed since the Supreme Court's definitive ruling, yet the Seoul High Court has offered no clear schedule. The Chief Judge of the Seoul High Court and the presiding panel must now make their decision. The essence of judicial power lies in realizing living justice within the flow of time, not in freezing it under administrative hesitation. Across the world, judicial systems build trust through timely action and transparent procedure. The U.S. Federal Court of Appeals initiates retrial hearings within an average of 14 days after remand. The United Kingdom within 21 days, Japan within 40. Korea, however, averages over 90 days, ranking among the slowest in the OECD. From the perspective of global standards, our judicial tempo remains trapped in an earlier era. According to international judicial statistics, the average case opening period across the OECD is 31.7 days, whereas in Korea it is 89.6, nearly 3 times longer. This is not a matter of bureaucracy, but of trust. The World Bank's 2024 Rule of Law Index gave Korea a score of 0.67, below the OECD average of 0.82, while Sweden scored 0.92, the United Kingdom 0.88, and Japan 0.85. The same pattern appears in public trust. An OECD survey found that confidence in the judiciary stood at 88% in Finland, 28% in Japan, and only 43% in Korea. We must now ask why the clock of justice moves so slowly in our country. The answer lies not in the system, but in the absence of resolve. The Chief Judge of the Seoul High Court and the judges of Criminal Division 7 are not mere administrators of process. They are historical actors in the realization of justice. The people await their courage and their judgment. What is needed now is not avoidance but action, not delay but decision. Nations around the world have institutionalized world best practices to prevent judicial stagnation. The United Kingdom introduced the fast-track trial system, and the United States uses a federal case management system to automate retrial scheduling. Israel notably exempts no one from judicial accountability. Its incumbent Prime Minister, Benjamin Netanyahu, is currently on trial in the Jerusalem District Court on 3 corruption charges. Despite overseeing his nation's diplomacy and security, he appears in court weekly, declaring, "The courtroom is not an extension of politics." The Israeli judiciary opened his first hearing just 42 days after receiving the case file. That is the meaning of judicial independence, and it stands as a globally recognized best practice. The Republic of Korea must now meet this same standard. Once the Supreme Court has issued a remand, the review of case records and the setting of a trial date should take only a matter of days. If political calculation or administrative habit continues to obstruct the process, then justice itself has already been compromised. This moment is the judiciary's last opportunity to restore the trust of the Korean people. Our judicial system must fully transition from electronic trials to a truly digital litigation system. By digitizing document submission, scheduling, and evidence review, the process becomes transparent and automatic. The United Kingdom reduced trial initiation time by 35% after adopting such systems, and Japan achieved a 28% reduction. Korea, too, must activate digital litigation in earnest to achieve both speed and fairness. The retrial of President Lee is not merely a case about one individual, it is a test of whether the Korean judiciary can meet global standards, a test of whether even the powerful are truly equal before the law. The Seoul High Court must now prove through prompt action that law stands above power and justice stands above time. Justice must precede politics, and the commencement of this trial is not a procedural matter, but a matter of moral determination. My fellow citizens, the clock of justice now stands still, but it can move again through the courage of judges and the faith of the people. The reason this retrial must begin without further delay is simple. The longer justice is deferred, the more deeply trust erodes and the more unstable the nation becomes. The chief judge and the court must now answer before the people, not with words, but with action. Swiftly opening this trial will reaffirm the independence of our judiciary. The courtroom must never serve as a stage for politics. It must remain the sanctuary of justice. This is the global standard recognized by the world, and it is the path that the Korean people expect their judiciary to walk. Law must stand above power, and justice must stand above time. That is the future of the Republic of Korea, a nation governed not by fear or favor, but by the timeless principle of justice. Thank you very much.